Hello, you guys. Hello. All right. Like, tag, and share the video. We're on. Let's go. We live. Tell somebody. There it is. Got those bells. Go ahead on and like, tag, and share. And thank you to our YouTube subscribers. Go ahead on and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Come on. Simply Her is on. Let's go. And we got Erin Washington in the building. So get ready. Tell somebody. Here. H.E.R. Take that from me. Make sure you guys give me some hearts so I can make sure everything is clear, all right? Again, like, tag, and share this video. Like, tag, and share this video. Hey, Angela Moore, what's going on? What's going on, Jones? And you're from your city, your state, your country. We want to know who's on with us today. Can you guys hear me good? Everything going well? We got a new microphone. Excited. Lighting is doing us amazing. Come on, y'all. Let's get it in. Video, and also if you're watching us, go ahead on and subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell. Hey, you guys, again, welcome to the show, to the Simply Her Empowerment Connection show. I am your host, Nikki A. Kaiser, Simply Her. Yes. We got Erin in the building today, and I'm super excited because I've known Erin for a long time, and well over 20 years. I mean, we're going to tell our age, we're going to cut up, we're going to act right and tell everybody all about it. So this is the perfect time, you guys, to go ahead on and get your popcorn, come on in, get your notepad, because this girl is going to be diving today. So let me do my plug so I can get out the way and bring in our guests. All right? Here we go. Where you at? Come on, Drink the Shrink. The meat product. And you definitely want to make sure that you get you some Drink to Shrink, okay? So let us know how it does for you, because for me, it's been doing good, all right? Drink to Shrink, see Demetria Wooten. She got you covered, all right? Okay. Now, I have a new product to present today, Sea Moss. Ooh, Jesus. Yes. This is amazing product by Stephen J. Richardson. He is the seller, the distributor of Sea Moss. And I have been using Sea Moss for a week now. And oh my God, it is really truly doing its part. So if you are looking for to help you, assist you with your Drink to Shrink and do you one good weekly detox, go ahead on and try this Sea Moss out. This product right here lasts you for 3 weeks. So you can definitely get it. This is kiwi and this is blueberry. So again, see Stephen J. Richardson for your Sea Moss. Okay. All right, after you finish using all that detoxing, you know you're going to need a good candle, right? Okay, so Mr. Charles Armstrong and his amazing company, CC Aroma Company, they got coffee, cream, vanilla, and it smells really good. Yes, it really, truly does smell good. So go ahead on and order you some. Go to the website, www.csquare.com. Yep, go ahead on and hook it up. Get what you need. Get what you need. All right, all my book readers, where you at? Get loud, get proud. And here is an amazing book to add to your collection. H.E.R. Dijon made an amazing story out of her whole entire life that gave her some hardship. But she said, why use my pain? And this book right here has some really good content in it to help you come over some adversity, some situations. So see H.E.R. Go to her inbox. She's right here on live right now, and she's one of my ATS sisters. Hey, H.E.R. She also has a body contouring business, and I'll be plugging her on Monday. But tonight, I'm featuring her book, and guess what? We got a book to give away. We gotta give away. We gotta give away. Thank you, H.E.R, for sponsoring tonight's show with a book giveaway. So again, somewhere in the show we will be doing a giveaway of this amazing book. And I'm definitely encouraging you guys to get it on Amazon. All right. Okay, you guys, I've been telling you guys all about this book right here. So get excited about The Richest Man in the Trash Can. Come on and drop that link for me, Arshirian, so everybody can get their free digital copy of this book right here. See, I had to get the hardcore copy and I also have the digital copy, but I wanted to support the author and I have the hardcore copy, but I have the digital copy. Lifestyle changes that can help you when you're trying to do in business, in life, and get your coins up. So I encourage you guys to come on and see The Richest Man in the Trash Can, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. himself, and he can help you out. All right. So inbox, and I can get you more information about that. All right. In the words of Mimi, you have been plugged. That is the nice plugs. And of course, we thank you guys for everybody who's doing what they do. Big shouts out to Elite Professional Services. It's almost tax season. So come on and join in and get your professional taxes and a whole lot of more amazing things when it comes to LLCs and a whole lot of more amazing things when it comes to business. Go see Sonya Ray Pope, Mimi, my niece, and she will definitely give you and tell them Aunt Nikki sent you. Simply her sent you. All right, you guys, you have been plugged. All right. Here, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, get excited. Tell somebody my girl Erin Washington is in the building, and we're about to bring her in because it is now time for us to hear from our amazing guest, Erin Washington. Hey, Erin. Hey, Erin. Let's see. Is she on?
Hey, Nikki. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Erin. How are
Hey,
you?
all is
How are you
well.
doing?
I'm good. How about yourself?
Yes, I'm doing well, girl. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Look, I have to remember to look forward to the camera because I'm looking over here on the screen. I'm like, I need to remember to look forward on the camera. But this is new, but I'm super excited. What's going on, Erin? This is my friend, y'all, my childhood friend. We have been, man, we've been hanging for a minute, huh, Erin? Can you hear
Huh?
me?
No, I didn't catch the last
Can
thing
you
you
hear
said.
me?
I can hear you
I
now.
say we've been hanging for a minute, huh? Okay, I
Correct,
said we've
correct,
been
correct.
hanging for a minute.
Since
Yeah.
City Gas
So tell us
Village.
about yourself. Introduce yourself. Yes, and City Gas. City Gas Village show up and showing out tonight. Let's do this. So, Erin, tell us
Yeah.
about yourself. Tell the people about who you are and introduce yourself real good for the people.
My name is Erin Washington, formerly known as Erin Martin. 41 years of age. Um, a mother of three girls, ages 24, 18, and 13 years of age. And right now, basically, I'm a single mom, divorced, living life, 4 year survivor of breast cancer, and business owner of Juice Me Please. And now we have like some other, another baby that we just birthed, which is Beyond Beauty and Beyond Beauty Fitness Apparel. Yeah, excuse me, I'm a little shy, but excuse me, nothing that I can't come over. But so we just added Beyond Beauty Fitness Apparel to our Juice Me Please. So Juice Me Please time, Beyond Beauty times Snatch Me Please. And basically my overall business is entailing around health and wellness because when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. Um, Nothing major going on in my life at this time other than just, I'm hunkered down and just focused on the things that are important, that bring me happiness, bring me peace. And also just basically, just enjoying life, taking it one day at a time, not worrying about yesterday because yesterday is gone, and not worry about tomorrow because it's not promised, but just learning how to live in a present moment and, just being present with everything that concerns me, everything that's going on around me and within me.
Listen. You said ain't nothing going on, nothing going on. Erin, you just said everything, girl. I mean, y'all, she's so modest. She failed to mention she got what 2 degrees now, and
Yeah.
she's building. Y'all, she just got back from out of town. She just flew in like a boss, you know. Just had an amazing weekend, girl trip with her girls, and now she back in the city, all on live, doing her thing. So she's so modest, but you know what, girl, you're a real true boss for real. So tell us, Erin. You
Yeah.
know, I'm running for Erin, right? Because Erin has this fitness like a beast. She does this fitness training, and please tell the people about that journey. Your whole entire journey of how you became this fitness guru and all the great things that you do.
Awesome. So like 5 years ago, I decided to, get into health and wellness. As we getting older, our bodies is not able to just shed those pounds off like, we were like they could be in our youthful years and stuff like that. But I started my health and wellness journey 5 years ago, when actually I was diagnosed with a hiatal hernia. I didn't like how it made me feel because it almost made me feel like I was having a heart attack. And plus, I was like 241 pounds, which was contributing, to some of my health issues and stuff. And so prior to that, I was trying all to lose weight, lose weight real quick, get slim quick schemes and all of that kind of stuff until I realized that, I could probably be doing more harm to my body than helping it and stuff because, when you're doing those weight loss programs, to each his own, what works for some may not work for all. What work for all may not work for some. So for me, it just wasn't working because even after I got my weight down, I was still, struggling with trying to maintain, my weight at a lower capacity than what it was. I was still trying to keep myself from eating, having these hunger cravings and stuff like that. But without the supplements, I couldn't control it. So guess what? That weight came back triple times, more than what it was prior to me losing it. And so after that I was like, look, it's either you gonna continue to stay stuck in the problem or you gonna do something about it. One, I don't like to feel like I'm dying. I don't like going to the emergency room. I never had that experience. I never had to go to an emergency room like maybe 10 times within 2 or 3 days. And they sending me home, oh well, go take this and this, that, whatever. I said, you know what? You need to get it together. So I ended up going on my health and wellness journey. I started out on Facebook with a private page for women like myself, because sometimes as a woman, you may not have a lot of self-esteem and stuff. And so sometimes we may not think that we can do it without reverting back to weight loss surgery or reverting back to certain type of weight loss plans, going to the doctors, getting those weight loss pills and stuff like that. So I was like, what happens if you try? What do you have to lose if you try? So I didn't have nothing to lose, and stuff. And so I just started like one day at a time, basically just, I started, I wasn't eating vegetables and things like that, at the time, but I started putting some excitement into it. And so I would go to Kroger's almost every day. And it was like, you know, trials with me. I would try it. If I liked it, I stuck with it, like vegetables, different type of healthy, healthy nutrient bars and stuff like that. So I started making my own meal plan and stuff. And so I started going off that meal plan. And as I started going off that meal plan, I started adding to it. I was like, wow, I'm really liking this. So I was creative with it. I called it my little field trip to the store, to test out the new healthy snacks or to test out, like different recipes and stuff like that. So then I started exercising. I started going walking and stuff like that. And so basically, my weight loss journey, I determined that success, besides God and stuff, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter, you know, what you're doing and how you're doing it, but the most important part is that you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it not for nobody else. You're doing it for you. And that is the main focus and stuff. I tried going to the cross training boot camps and stuff like that. I love the atmosphere and stuff like that, but I knew at the time I wasn't, in shape to work out like they wanted me to. And so my whole perspective and now like my journey today is basically, just encouraging women like, we are all made beautiful and we're all wonderfully made and stuff. And so I tell anybody to embrace who they are, one, because it starts from the inside. You have to love yourself no matter what, no matter who you are, what you look like. And we're all beautiful and we're all imperfectly made in some form of fashion and stuff. And so to embrace yourself, is starting from the inside, because once you start on the inside loving yourself, that love is going to outpour from the inside to the outside and stuff, and you're going to be able to tell the difference, within your body and stuff like that. And so my thing was that, just meeting people where they are at their level of readiness, because everybody, some people need motivation, some people don't. Like me, in the beginning, I used to be like, well, I needed somebody to walk with and stuff. But we know 9 times out of 10, whoever you have to walk with you or work out with you and stuff like that, that they're gonna give up or they're gonna say I can't make it. So guess what? You loses your self esteem. You loses, your motivation to want to go and stuff like that. So why not just do it by yourself and stuff? And it's okay to have a partner, but when you're going through life, and I say this to say that when you're going through life, you are responsible for getting yourself to where you need to be at in life, be it if it's within your health and wellness journey, be it if it's within your career journey, be it if it's within your relationships, whatever goals you set out to do, you are responsible for it. And nobody else is responsible for it but you and stuff. And so, right, going through that journey, it took me some time to get to where I needed to be prior to hitting, my illness. But that'll be another time. I mean, whenever you're ready to discuss that. But I enjoyed the journey because it was just an amazing feeling to see, my strength and what I was paying somebody to do for me. I was able to do it for myself. It was all in my
To do it for
and
yourself.
my motivation, my level of motivation and stuff like that. So I say this to say health and wellness, it is a journey. And it's not about trying to be the skinniest girl or the most finest girl or the most, just outstanding, fit, fine, and all whatever you want to call it. It's about more self-love, because you are your body's, you have to take care of your body because your body is the only place you have, to live and stuff. And so you have to take care of your body internally, and everything else will match what they say, your inside will match your outside eventually and stuff. And
Yes.
so you just have to take care of yourself, you know, period.
And I
I,
think
I
that
ain't
is
want to say
amazing
it, but
because,
period.
no,
Period.
girl,
You
because
just got to
you
take
know
care of
what? You were
yourself.
right on it. You know you right on it, right? Because that's what I was talking about, Erin. It's like you made a decision. I remember the conversation that we all had, look, our private conversation, I let the people in a little bit, and you was like, girl, I gotta get all this big weight off of me. No offense, Nikki, but
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get all this big weight off. And I was like, none taken, girl, do what you do. And that right there, it let me see directly your journey, because it was like one day we seen a big Erin, the next day it was like little skinny fine sister girl, Erin thick fine in every place, Erin. And it was like you became this motivator, not only to just me, but you impact so many people. And I remember the group. You need to really bring that group on back up, girl, because
I
it
still
was
got it.
just such an amazing thing. Yes, I need to go back. Look, I need to be going in there more. But it is like your amazing movements, and just as you were consistently telling people about how you can do this, and then you started sharing tips on, I guess from your trial and error of things, you started
Mm-hmm.
sharing tips, and that right there alone is a really big push. And like you said, you have to push yourself, because I
Mm-hmm.
know that what you're saying is the truth, because sometimes you just really seriously are like, I just can't get it. And big shouts out to Yolanda Turner, my 30-day challenge partner. What's up? She's on from ATL. Hey, girl. And so we have been really having our own struggles in trying to get things done, trying to get things done. But I know we're pushing through it and we're making it through this challenge. And so I'm super excited. Now tell us about this, because I've experienced this amazing product you have, this Juice Me Please,
Mm-hmm.
ma'am. So tell us
Mm-hmm.
about how did you even come up with that idea and turn it into a real nice business to go with your health and wellness, because that juice is the bomb. I like the ginger. The ginger is my thing.
So, Juice Me Please is our first baby. And actually, like in the beginning of my health and wellness journey, I used to juice and stuff. I didn't really know much about juicing back then, and even just doing just being on my health and wellness journey. Period. I always ask God to give me a sign, like just let me know my purpose, you know, what it is that you need for me to do within, along my health and wellness journey. Be it if it's, just being of support or motivation to the next person and stuff. But I always felt like God had a calling for me, along my health and wellness journey, because it's like I had like it was just like a thrill basically that I never had before, just starting the whole journey, getting down to where I went to. I'm talking about just getting just gun ho getting in shape, everything and stuff. And so after I overcame my transition of um breast cancer and stuff. And so it was 2019, me and my daughter, we was talking and stuff, and I'm just like real big on like, eating healthy foods and stuff. Don't get me wrong, I don't have it all together. I still have my cheat days and stuff like that. But today I can say that I give myself permission. Hey, if I mess up, if I go decide I'm gonna have me a bad meal or a bad snack, or even if I'm gonna have me an alcoholic beverage, hey, I know that I'm gonna make better choices the next day, or whatever the case may be. I'm not gonna be so hard on myself. And I think that's just the overall thing of just not depriving myself, or nobody should deprive themselves of anything for that matter and stuff. And so how we end up getting into the business was that, I don't know. We was like, me and my daughter, we was just talking, and she was like, Mama, I think we should do something. Because she even started getting down. My oldest daughter, she's 23. I
Yeah.
mean,
Hey, shout
24.
out to
Excuse me.
Tamia. What's up,
But
baby?
yeah, Tamia, she's 24, my baby, my first baby.
Yes,
We grew up
yes.
together. But,
That's what I was getting ready to
she
say.
started,
Tamia grew up with us.
yeah, we grew up together. No joke, but she got off into health and wellness as well and stuff. And so we was just thinking about like just something to do together as a mother and daughter, something that's gonna benefit both of us, but also making an impact while making an income and doing it at an affordable rate. And so we tried when we think about business plans, we think about our struggles and how we were impacted, basically, as far as like, not being afforded the luxuries to go out and buy a 3-day detox cleanse for $200 or $300 or something like that, or going to
Right.
work out at a fitness facility or a cross training paying $400 a month or something like this. So we try to table our business around the impacts that we had and stuff like
Okay.
that. And so and trying to make it affordable to where people, like ourselves, at the time, to be able to afford it. Sometimes it's hard to be like, okay, I gotta pay my light bill, but I want to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
want to feel good about myself. I can't go out and go buy me no detox clean because I got to pay this bill and XYZ. So we don't want nobody to have to feel like, oh, okay, this too expensive, and have to choose or whatever. So when we implement our products and stuff, we try to make it affordable and stuff, because sometimes,
Yeah.
and to each his own. Everybody, getting it how they get it, and their prices are their prices, and I respect that. But
Yep.
sometimes it don't even be about the passion. Sometimes it's just, if you're just looking to
Yeah.
make an income, you really not gonna care what you charge people, because your
Right.
prices are your pack prices. But our business came about because we wanted to make an impact on the
That's
people who
it.
we serve, the people within our community, our family and our friends. And sometimes they might like, look at us like, healthy gurus and just
Mhm.
healthy fanatics, and just saying, oh, we too damn healthy, excuse my French, and
Right.
stuff
No,
like
you're
that.
fine.
But we feel good and
That's
stuff
it.
like that. We know, and it takes time for people to get there, and we understand it. And so basically, it's about your level of readiness and stuff, and meeting
Right.
people where they are. And that's what we are within our business and stuff, and just trying to make an impact, make an impact, income at the same time, while making an impact on the people who
Yes.
we love. Because whether people know it or not, as we're not getting younger, and our health is very important. It's very vital. What they say, you better make time
Very
before you
important.
be forced to make time and stuff. And it's just,
Yes.
people don't know what's out there. You have these silent terminal illnesses like cancer. I'm not even sure how long I had cancer before, I was
Right.
diagnosed with
So
it
let's
and stuff,
talk, and let's talk. You know what, Aaron? You can go right into that. Let's talk about how did you actually come up to finding out about your breast cancer and everything, and let's talk about that journey because that was amazing. I believe right in the midst of you working on your health and
Yes.
wellness, that's when you found out. So let's talk about
Hmm.
that.
Yes. Even after, dropping that good old 80 pounds. So
Yeah.
26, it was what, January of 2016.
Uh
So
huh.
I was
26.
like, I was in good shape. I well woman exams prior to that, my mammograms and things like that were just like everything was good and stuff. But sometimes, a woman knows their body and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
so January, even I really didn't think much about it, because like January of 2016, my left breast, I started like feeling like a lump and stuff. I didn't think nothing of it, because, when I go for my well woman exams and they do the breast examinations and the ultrasounds, prior to that year, they told me I had like fibroid cysts. So I was thinking maybe, and sometimes fibroid cysts can give you, feelings as if it's a real lump and something is there and stuff. So I was having that, just like this, just weird lump, just like it'll come and then it'll go. It'll come, then it'll go and stuff. And then so like in my armpit, I had like a knot, and I was thinking milk duds, whatever, but
Mm-hmm.
maybe it was from when I had my daughter. But at the time, my child, she was old enough. She wasn't even a baby no more. So I knew it wasn't no milk, you know, producing up in that area and stuff. So I ain't think nothing of it, because I'm like, I'm good. I'm healthy. I'm not sick. I'm
Mm-hmm.
energetic.
Good.
I'm all of that. Like,
Good.
I'm in shape. I'm good. So when I went, I didn't, normally if I felt like at the time something was wrong, I would have like been immediately followed up. But like I always have my well woman exams like around April of every year. So I knew a few months I get it checked out, whatever it is, it's nothing. Cause nothing was affecting me or impacting me to make me feel like something was wrong at the time.
You didn't have any.
So
You didn't have any symptoms to show up right
no,
then and there.
no, none
Okay.
of that. I was still getting up, proceeding with daily life and stuff.
So,
And so I
ladies,
end up on,
that's another thing that we need to pay attention to is that you can actually have something going on, but just everything is well until you find out. And how did you find that out, Aaron? When did you notice?
so so I ended up, the lump was there for like months. For January is when I first started noticing it, but it wasn't until April when I went for my well woman exam. And
Okay.
my doctor gave me, she checked my breast and all that stuff. So she like basically was like, well, maybe it's like an infection or something. So she gave me some antibiotics and was like, okay, well, the lump, if the lump don't go down, because it was feeling feverish, that's why she gave me the antibiotics, and so she
Okay.
was like, if it don't go down within a week, then I'm gonna send you for ultrasound and a mammogram. So I was like, okay. So basically took it, went back a week later. It went down, but she said it still felt a little feverish, as if, and then it also felt like if it was something still behind it.
Okay.
So she ended up sending me to have a mammogram done. And then from the mammogram, I had to have an ultrasound done. So when they
Okay.
did all of that, I think the people can kind of tell right off when something is wrong because they was like, the mask at the time was like the size of a quarter and
Okay.
stuff. And so I ended up having to go through all of that hoopla, only, for the outcome to be the day of the breast cancer awareness walk, um, which I was diagnosed April the 14th, I was diagnosed of, it was malignant. They call it malignant when you get first diagnosed. So then I end up going, it's just awesome, just to be able to reflect because it's like, you know how God always know what you're about to go through before you go through something.
Yeah.
So I just felt like that journey of my life was already ordained by God.
Thanks for sharing, Lady
And
Hill.
and so I ended up going through all of that, like when I was diagnosed, I didn't know how to feel because I was like, no, not me. Like in the
Right.
beginning,
Right.
I was like, I was too shocked to even feel anything because it's like
Okay.
cancer. Wow. Wow, me, cancer.
So
So
were you at the Aaron? Were you at the doctor by yourself when you found out, or did you take someone with you, or how did you?
yeah,
How did
actually I did. I did. Because what happened after I had all of that, the test ran and stuff. So, my doctor had called me into the office and stuff. And so I had support there and stuff.
Okay.
And so, but still, like, I was
Yes.
like, come again.
Right.
So it was good that I had somebody there with me because
Yeah.
it's like I ain't hear nothing else but
Right.
the
That's
labs
what I was
came
going
back
to say because
malignant.
you had somebody
Everything else
there.
was
They,
like
yeah, it's
womp,
like
womp, womp. I just kept sleeping
yeah,
and stuff.
like Charlie Brown. You had a Charlie Brown moment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And so fast forward, I think later on that night, I think I might have cried one time. And
Okay.
then when I thought about it, I was like, you either gonna like sink or swim, like, but a part of me was still afraid because it's like I'm in the unknown. Like I don't know what's next. And at the time, I'm still a case manager, but I was doing case management because it's like I just have it so, planned out for my clients when they come to
Right.
me and I put their life together, connecting them with
Right.
services for me
Right.
being diagnosed
Right.
with breast cancer. I was like,
Who's
nah,
gonna put my life together?
who's gonna put my life together?
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
who gonna
That's
help me out and
right.
stuff?
I'm the fixer. I'm the fixer. Who gonna fix me? Yeah.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna tell you why I felt like this journey of my life was like ordained by God because it was like when I was diagnosed, I ended up going into the group Healthy Chicks at the time, just sharing that I was recently diagnosed with breast cancer
Mhm.
and stuff. And so my ex-husband cousin at the time, God bless her heart, it was like the journey was already on point and stuff. She was like, I just started working at an oncologist the beginning of that year,
Yeah.
XYZ, and I'm gonna try to get you in with my doctor. And I'm like, okay, and stuff like that. So it was like maybe like a week or two. I
Okay.
ended up following up, and she pulled some strings because, you know, going for your visits for oncologists, like if you're a first time visitor, sometimes it may be months before you can get in to see a doctor. So I was just like just grateful,
That's
just
how God. That's how
when I tell
God put it
you
together. Yeah.
when I tell you, it wasn't nobody but God on that journey of that walk with me, and bringing people in my life, to get me through that season and stuff, and it's kind of like, I'm not gonna get emotional,
Go ahead, girl. Go
but when
ahead.
I think about
Yeah.
the beginning of that journey, and how God just made it so smooth for me because I didn't look like what I was going through. People hear cancer, and when I heard cancer, I just knew I was gonna look like what I saw people go through
Yep.
and stuff.
And you
And
didn't.
so
You didn't.
so
You still
when
you
she got me
wait a
in with
minute,
her
wait a minute,
doctor,
wait a minute, wait a minute. You're not gonna run over that statement like that and just leave that alone. No, ma'am, y'all. Just like what Erica said, she's strong, strong, y'all, and this is the truth. Y'all, let me tell you something. Let me put my plug in there because I know Erin Morton at the time and when she got her diagnosis. And I remember us having a conversation, all of us coming together and having a conversation because we had a girls group and we all came together and she was like, y'all, I got cancer. We need to do this. You know, I got to do this, do this, this, this. And don't y'all worry. And we were like, no, ma'am. Don't you run over it like that. Okay, what we need to do, when the appointments, what's needed, what you need, and so it was like everybody embraced her totally, and she was like, no, y'all, I'm gonna be good, don't worry about it, I got it. But no, ma'am, no, ma'am. And the way she walked through that journey was so amazing. Like, even when she was having low days, I can remember you still encouraging somebody, if it was nothing but just coming to Facebook and saying something, to encourage everybody. And the way that she walked through her journey of going through her chemo and everything, it was like amazing. It was amazing because it was just like, okay. So for somebody who really seriously went through this, she gave that hope. And I even remember her saying one time that she was in the session and encouraging other people who was feeling down that day and everything. And she'd be walking in with, we ain't gonna be down in here. We gotta be happy. And so those are moments and minutes. You can't just run past that, ma'am. Those are moments and minutes that have
yeah,
to be addressed because that's a part of that superhero that you are seriously inside. And that's why I always tell you that your journey has to be put in the pages because somebody got to read this. Seriously. Let me give an introduction again. Y'all, we're talking to Erin Washington, my good friend from City Gas, from the village, all the way up to the boss chick that she is today. She is a health and wellness guru. She has an amazing business, several amazing businesses now she's added. And so we're talking with her today about her triumphant moments, her journey, and everything that is Erin. And we are super excited. I thank her for being on with us. And so we're talking about your now as you go through your journey with breast cancer. And so right there, Erin, when you stopped off and I stopped you at the part of where you were saying that you were going through and you were looking at the eyes of others and praying to God that you was not going to go through that. So what gave you that determination in your mind to even say, I'm not going to let this be. I'm not going to let this stop. Like once you soaked in, I have cancer. And now, so what really gave you that push to say, the next step is this?
what gave me that push was when I got up, you know, when I looked at my three kids,
Yeah,
when I knew as a mother, nobody was gonna
yeah,
love my kids the way that I loved them. Nobody was gonna nurture them the way that I nurtured them. And they were my fight. And basically, giving up would have been
yeah.
selfish to them and to anybody else who ever loved me and believed in me. It would have been just
Mm-hmm.
so selfish because it's so easy for us to give up and stuff. And at the
Yeah,
time, I knew of God and stuff. And like, I wasn't like, and I'm not even, I identify as a Christian, but I'm not
yeah,
that holy roly because, God is still working on me
yeah.
and stuff.
Girl,
But
and that's what make you the best Christian in the world because trust me, child, trust me. That's what God like, the imperfections, the real deals, the real deal Holyfield. Yes, ma'am. I want to plug that right
yes,
there. So yeah, we
but
all working hard.
I had to get my mind right mentally
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
basically, I ain't had no choice but to trust God. It didn't matter who was telling me, "Oh, girl, you gonna make it." I heard so many horrific stories and all that kind of stuff. And so my coworker, Miss Rhonda, my ex coworker, but she's still my coworker because we've been together like we're like family, like But Miss Rhonda at my previous employer, at my previous job, Santa Maria, she brought me this book, and it was a book with like inspirational, inspirational journey that I would, with quotes and stuff like that, and I read it, day by day, and it's like, once you start, it's all in your mind frame and stuff, and so I really, before then, I barely even picked up a Bible and stuff. But she gave me that book, and she told me, she said, you know what? She said, everything is all right. You gonna be fine. And so every morning I would get up, and I believe those exact words, what that book said to me
Yes, ma'am.
and stuff. And I kid you not, I would look forward to going to my chemo treatments and
Yes.
stuff. I looked forward to it because I met some beautiful people
Yes.
along my journey. And when I sat back and I looked at them, I was like, thank God, because some were in shape like me, some were,
Mm-hmm.
worse off than me. And, it was a little bit sad when I would go there, after I met somebody, and maybe weeks later or months down the line, I find out that they done passed away, and that did impact me or whatever, in
Yes.
some form or fashion. But I'm a believer in, it's not what you go through, but it's how you come out of it. When you
Man.
put your mind on positive things, because I was diagnosed with stage 2 triple negative
Okay.
breast cancer.
And tell us about that. Tell us about how does that come
It's,
about and everything.
it's aggressive. Basically, I don't know how it came about. Man-made
Okay.
products or whatever the case may be. It wasn't hormonally driven, thank
Okay.
God. But how it came about, I think maybe like the products, like the deodorants and stuff like that, and just basically your diet as well,
Okay.
and stuff. I'm not no scientist, so to this day I don't know how it came about, but
Okay.
those are some of the things that probably contributed, and also stress. Just
Okay.
not taking care of your body, not taking care of yourself, and just stressing about things that are beyond your control
Okay.
and stuff that can bring on not only cancer, it can bring on any kind of
Yeah.
illnesses,
Yeah.
if you live in a stressful
Because
life and stuff.
they said that stress is the silent killer to your blood pressure and all these other
Yeah,
things. It's connected because again, your body is so so overwhelmed by those thoughts, and that's a mind thing. That's truly a mind thing. Stress is
yeah,
a mind
it's a
thing.
mind thing, and basically going through anything, any kind of terminal illness, it's all within your thought process, because you
Yes.
know I thank my mom, Lord Jesus, I thank my mom,
Yes.
because it was like she
Super,
was there
super
when
supportive.
she saw she saw me at my lowest. My
Yeah.
girlfriend, um, Aisha, she was my cancer twin. She saw me
Yes.
at my lowest and
Yes.
stuff. And my other sister friends, they were there for support and stuff. But to have this is going through any kind of illness, I tell anybody that's not something you can get through alone, because you're gonna need somebody.
Right.
As much as you want to be private and stuff, you're gonna need somebody and stuff. And I always told them, if y'all don't do nothing else, don't treat me
Yes.
different. Treat me the same.
Yes.
And that's what kept
Yes.
me going. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't
Yes.
don't don't throw me no pity party, because I'm gonna be
Right.
okay and stuff. And
Yes.
when I saw them looking sad and all that kind of stuff, no, this is not what we fixing to do.
Hmm.
Even in the beginning, I didn't know how this journey was gonna be, but I had to get myself to this place of calmness. I had to rely on God. I had to build that relationship with God. I
Yes.
started fasting. I was praying. I fasted like every other week before I
Yeah.
would go to chemo for good reports and stuff. I
Yes.
started protecting my peace. I didn't really like manage the maturity level of
Yeah.
who I am as a woman until I started going through my transition of breast cancer,
Hmm.
how to manage
Yeah.
my peace, how to basically, I finally realized that life's too short to be unhappy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these years you waste on being unhappy, and look at you now, you fighting for your life
Ooh,
and
fighting for
stuff.
you.
And so I prayed. I prayed to God. I said, God, if you let me make it through this here, I promise you, I will not allow everything that I used to trip about.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Everything that I used to trip about or used to let bother me, I don't even let bother me no more. Because when you facing death,
Because it
none of
seems
that
as if
even matters.
it, yeah, it seems as if you have found a way to channel, to channel all that energy, and it seems as if like what you're saying is that you had to pull all of this stuff in and really see the big picture and make sure
Yeah,
that you decide on what's going to be able to come into your space and what's not going to be able
correct,
to make it. Yeah,
correct. You have to pick and choose your battles. And
that's
so
it.
if I had to go through that journey again, it's and it's not foolish to say this, I would do it all over again because that
Yeah,
was the rebirth. They say
yeah,
sometimes you have to die in order to
yeah.
live again.
To live. Yes,
And
yes,
so
Aaron.
that was the old me dying and
Yes,
God reinventing the new me and stuff.
yes,
And I embraced and I enjoyed every minute of that journey. Even when negativity came my way of people, people who never been through what I was going through, but
yeah.
I always had, well, my such and such went through this, and I would look at them dead in their eye and I tell them, well, hey, that's not how my story go in.
That's
I'm
it.
not dying
That's
from
it.
breast cancer. I don't have breast cancer. You know what I'm saying? I don't. It don't have me. I have it.
Yeah,
It doesn't have me
exactly.
and stuff. And so I focused on positive things, and that's what got me through. I prayed, and I'm not gonna say it was a wonderful journey. I'm not gonna say I had every day was a perfect day for me because it wasn't. Nobody. So
Yeah,
if I broke down, nobody never knew it because I did it in the privacy and the comfort of my home. I did it
yeah.
because I didn't want nobody to feel sorry for me. And it's not nothing to say that you have to be so tough to where you ignore your pain. Because like I used to tell my mom, when I go for my doctor visits, and sometimes, when my levels are off and stuff like that,
Okay,
I didn't want to hear nothing about no levels being off because I wanted everything to be 100%,
that's
when
it.
I left
That's
the
it.
doctor and stuff. And so my mom was like, well, Erin, what he said, and I was like, Mama, I appreciate your support. I thank you for being, but just because he says it's going to be all right doesn't mean that I cannot feel. It
That's it.
doesn't mean that I'm still going to feel because guess what? At the end of the day, it's me going through it.
That's right.
It's me
So,
going
Aaron,
through it.
let's
But
talk right there. Let's talk right there about your support itself. How did your support look? And really seriously, like how did your support impact you? Because again, like you said, I cried by myself and really seriously was kind of pushing through. But what really seriously did your support look like? And big shouts out to Mother. Mother, thank you so much for supporting Aaron. That's Aisha. Thank you, Mother. But of course, like how did your support look, and like at what point did you really say, I now am going to allow this support to come in and really seriously just give you that extra support that you need?
my support was like none other, you know. And I'm gonna say this here, and I'm gonna humbly say this here, respectfully. Who's for you when things when you're down, you're gonna know who's really there for you and stuff.
Yeah,
And when you up, you're gonna know who's really not there. When you up, you're gonna know who's there for you. When you down, that's when the test really, really comes and stuff.
yes,
And at the end of the day, I look at my past experiences. Sometimes you have to light that match and just go ahead and burn that bridge and stuff.
yeah,
And so What my support
That's
looked
good.
like was my true, genuine friends. You know, I feel like my support looked like the people who God had and planned to be with me along this journey and stuff. And so even though I was going through a rough patch at the time, you know, I'm not going to take nothing away from nobody, because anybody that even took out time out of their day to even just come by and say, hey, how you doing, or be there with me along the journey, you know, I appreciate that, because they didn't have to, you know. So what my support system looked at like was, you know, my mom, my ex-husband, my children, and Peavy, Miss Peavy.
Mom,
She
oh
was
mama,
like mother missed her first Cinco de Mayo.
yeah, yeah.
She missed happy hour at Cinco de Mayo. I never forget when 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 she I reached out to her because it was May the 4th, May the 5th, Cinco de Mayo day. And she had been talking about going to have her margarita all that week. So I believe it was on a Thursday, because I had my chemo on Thursdays and stuff. And so it wasn't until that Friday when I called. I said, Peavy, I said, how was Cinco de Mayo? She said, girl, I ain't even go. She talking about, because since you couldn't go, I didn't go. I
Yeah.
was like, man, you ain't miss Cinco de Mayo for me. She was like,
Mo- and mother
mother
loved her
missed
some
it.
Cinco de Mayo. Big
Mother
shout
missed
out to
it.
Cinco
She
de Mayo
loved it.
back in the day. Listen,
She
them
loved
kind
it.
of margaritas was what we was looking forward to all the time.
She loved it. She loved it. But,
Yeah,
you know, I say this to say, you know, if you have anybody in your life, you know, it doesn't matter what kind of relationship y'all had or where
yeah,
y'all relationship stand now, you know, you got to appreciate those people, because people don't have to be who they are to you, and they don't have to do what they do for you and
that's
stuff.
it.
And so, you know, don't take it lightly, because I feel privileged, because a lot of people I came across really didn't have that support. You know, I had my work family at the time. Oh, the support was like amazing. Like just my work family, my mom, you know, my children and stuff, you know, and even the staff at the clinic, like it felt like home away from home, you know,
Yeah,
because I always figure, because I work in the human service profession, and I see how these practices, you know, do their clients. I see how these agencies, you know, do their clients, and how the clients get lost in the shuffle. And the one thing I said to my doctor, you know, was, I don't want to be just a number. When you
yeah.
see me, I want you
Make it.
to write out, hey, Miss Washington or Miss Martin, how you doing, or whatever the case may be. And so I knew I was gonna end up in the right place when, at the time, my ex-husband, cousin, her name is Latrice, and I'm forever grateful for her, because I knew nothing about Dick Sladen. I knew nothing. I didn't even, had she not came about, I didn't even know where I was going to end up at. And so I
Yeah,
appreciate that, you know, just God putting the people in my life at the right time, you know, to get me through this journey and stuff, because I didn't know nothing about, you know,
yeah,
resources for cancer. You hear about MD Anderson, but it takes a lot for you to get into MD Anderson. It takes a
yeah,
lot, you know, and just because they this big popular hospital doesn't mean that they're gonna have the best practices for you, meaning that
yeah,
what they got going is gonna work for you. And when she told me, before I even met Doctor before I even met my doctor and stuff, don't get me wrong, I'm a little nervous.
you good, girl. You listen.
Before
Listen,
I even met
Erin
my
is
before I,
flowing. Hold on. You flowing good. You helping the people. You guys, if Erin is helping you with some
uh-huh,
hearts out there, let me read some of these comments. Let me read some of these comments, Erin, so you can get yourself together, girl. You're doing good. I'm enjoying it because I am,
no, I'm ready.
super
I'm
excited
ready.
about this journey.
Before
You ready?
before I
Okay.
even met before I even met Dr. Muir, sometimes brain freeze, but before I met Dr. Muir, when she told me, you know, he was like telling me that I need to get there, and you know, he was like, the every day counts. And when before I even met this
Yeah.
man, when he said every day counts, that meant something to me. That meant
Yeah.
everything to me, because that
Yeah.
means that he knows time is of an essence. So
Yeah.
he knows that I need to get on this right then and there. and stuff. And when I tell you it's expensive
Yeah.
going through cancer treatments, and when I tell
Yeah.
you I had insurance,
Okay.
insurance, yeah, I had
Yeah.
medical insurance,
Mm-hmm.
but my financial pockets, my expense, I couldn't match what they was, and so they worked it out. When I tell you favor ain't fair, believe me, believe
Erin.
me, believe me. When I tell you I didn't have every time it was a test, it was $1,800 having to come out. I had to come off of. I ain't have it, but guess what? God made a
You
way.
got this text.
I got those tests done.
Yes, God.
And I went through chemo. I went through the whole process and
Yes.
stuff. And when I tell you, that's why I say you couldn't tell me that this journey wasn't ordained by God, because
Yes.
He knew everything what I was about to go through and what I was about to come up against and stuff. But I'ma just say this, and it ain't what you go through, it's how you come out. You when
How
you
you
think
come.
positive
Yes.
outcomes will come out and stuff. And no matter what you go through, I'ma just say this here, and I'm gonna honestly say this here. It's good to have support,
Yes.
but just know that sometimes the main people who you think that's gonna show up and be there to support you, those are more than likely not gonna be the ones. And I mean this in a respectful way. You know,
Mm.
they're not gonna really be the ones to show up and be there for
Yeah.
you. It be
Get
the
it.
ones that you
You
really
expect
pretty
it.
much least expect to,
That's it.
come through and stuff.
Mhm.
But like I said, I was forever grateful and stuff. And so I was able to find out who was there for me
Yep.
and who really wasn't. And guess what? Today I'm okay with that. No hard
Yep.
feelings or anything like that. I'm okay with that and stuff. Because
You know
sometimes
what?
people
You
don't
know
know
what
how
I
to
find
be
when you say that. You know what I find when you say that, Aaron. Sometimes people don't know where to support you,
yeah.
and they don't know how to support you.
Mm-hmm.
And instead of making the wrong decision and saying the wrong words or something,
Correct.
they choose to say, "Okay, let me step back because I don't want to make the wrong mistake, right?" So, I would send you inboxes and say, "I'm praying for you," because at that moment it's
Mm-hmm.
like, let me just pray because I know how to pray. I can pray for you,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to mess up the flow of words, right? So it's
Yep.
like, just go ahead on and deal with how you need to deal, but at least, and this is my big thing, at least say something. If you having a hard time there, especially when it comes down to those connections, those friendships, and how we kick it and how we roll, tell
Mm-hmm.
me. Tell me, hey friend, I really don't know where to support you at. Hey family, I really don't know where to support you at, but I want to be there to support you. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's just those new ways of saying, hey, this is what it is. And like you said, it's no hard feelings, but God positioned the right people
Mm-hmm.
who really honestly, something as simple as what mother did. And we call Aisha Peven mother, but just putting her in position to do what she did, and that was her solidarity was, I'm not gonna go because you can't come. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's things like that really honestly, and of course, other things that has transpired for that support to be there and everything. And so it's not so much as so much you need to say, it's the
Mm-hmm.
little things. It's the little
Yeah.
bitty things. I even remember when you did a sock drive, you wanted to get everybody some socks. Um,
Mm-hmm.
to take, and I thought that was amazing how you just wanted to take them some socks. I thought that was so,
Mm-hmm.
just something so simple. And, we flooded you with them socks. And so it's
Yeah.
just amazing for little small things.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
it's and that's the thing, like, it's just the thought, just to have somebody thinking of you. And so that's why, and it was like a eye-opening moment for myself
Yeah.
as well, because even myself, sometimes we can get so caught up in our own life and what we have going
Right.
on. And so we forget to check up on people who may be going through. So, it's like now that I'm aware consciously, you know, I notice, it's just a simple phone call that will go, a long way. Or, hey, how you doing? Or, do you
Yeah.
need anything? And and stuff like that. But just just being support to somebody, and stuff. And so also,
See?
even, that breast my journey was like 2 years, 2.5 years before it really just came to an end, after going through the treatments. And then, I had the bilateral mastectomy and
Yes.
stuff, and so that's when it really got real for me and stuff, just, because I had to go through like major surgeries and stuff like that. I was at a point of being helpless. I couldn't help myself. I
Yes.
had to have people come over, help me bathe, help me change, and all of that kind of stuff, and so
And that's
Miss
that's sitting your pride down right there, girl. Having somebody that has to come
yeah,
wash
you
you and
don't
get
have
you
no
together.
choice but to.
Yeah.
I was so independent, even going through my chemo, to
Right.
where it's like, oh, I had to really like break me down when after I had my surgery, when I had my bilateral surgery and stuff like that, and I had to have people to come and help me and all of that kind of stuff. It's like, like you got to put that pride aside. It's
That's
okay
right.
to not be strong all the time. It's okay to not have it all together. It's okay to need
Yes.
somebody to help you and stuff. And so
Yeah.
I never forget, like I had like two, like PV, and then Miss TK came along my journey.
Yeah.
And so when she didn't hear from me, she would always pop up at my house. You
Yeah.
okay? I had this oval shaped window. And so all
You
I
tell
see is her
me
just
Miss
looking through it.
TK. TK. Yeah.
I would just she'll come over, and she was the the person come over, make sure me and them girls were straight and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, I had a good support system, when my mom wasn't able to get to me, because she have a life. She have a, she had responsibilities, her job and stuff like that. TK, it was TK Peavy, and Naisha, she had me laughing. So
Yeah.
you have to have them kind of people around
Yeah.
to keep you going, to keep you from
That's it.
focusing on real life stuff. Cause like
See, I
everything
like
that
what
I
you
went
said.
through,
I like what you said right there. How everybody then started coming in their own way, their own fashion.
yes,
And so
yes,
that's another thing. Letting people come their own fashion, their own way, and do what it is that they feel comfortable in doing, which is really good. And that's important. So that I think that right there alone, that's something that anyone who is going through any type of transition of medical life, changing your whole entire structure of what your family life look like, let people come in and support you in the fashion of what they can
hmm,
do so that it can be a blessing to you. Definitely. So
yeah,
tell me this here, Erin, as you went through that whole entire journey, and it's amazing because next month is breast cancer awareness, and so we
I'm
definitely will be
excited.
celebrating. Girl, I love pink, so we're gonna be wearing pink. I'm like, yes,
And
this is all another cause or reason for me to put on pink. So I'll be wearing pink all month long, like I'll do every day anyway. But of course, we'll definitely be focusing on the cause and everything. And so, one question I do remember I asked Jay Warner last year. Big shouts out to Jay Warner Brooks, um, Jay Survivors. You guys are amazing. And so,
yes,
one thing I asked Jay Warner last year was what kept her focus. I asked her what kept her focus in her low places. And I remember her saying that she just remembered that she got to get back up. And I thought that was really cool. So let me ask you that question. What was your focus in your low place that got you to that place?
just what kept me focused was just not giving, like, just I didn't have it in me to give up and stuff, no matter what I went through and stuff. I had my days where I would just break down, and but I gave myself permission to release. And once I released, I said, you know what, girl, it's time for you to get back to life and stuff. But just thinking, my kids was my driven force, like my kids. And just the life, it wasn't like, I mean, I'm a simple person, but I love the people who were in my life. And to
Yes.
just give up so easy, because it was so easy for me. I could have just gave up. I could have just allowed things that was beyond my control to suppress me even more and stuff. But the fight in me and God in me was bigger than that. It was like, now, even when I had my weak moments of just feeling sad, because like I wasn't only hit with breast cancer, you know, 30 days after being, a month or so after being diagnosed with breast cancer, me and my ex-husband, we separated. So I was like, damn, here I am fighting for
Yeah.
my life and fighting for a marriage. And so that's when I
I
felt like
got that too.
I hit my rock bottom, like the lowest point of my life. I was like, dang, all this happening to me at one time
Yeah.
and stuff. And so I
Now,
didn't really have
were
time.
you in school? Were you in school at that time as well, Erin, working on your degree?
I had just finished up undergrad school.
Yes.
And so I was diagnosed like a week after finishing up undergrad school and
Wow.
stuff. And so, and I had it all mapped out. I was like, okay, I'm finna graduate now. I'm finna go enroll in this master's program. But God said, you
Yeah.
about to sit down somewhere,
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
so it just goes to show you, how what the plans that we have for our life may
Yes.
not be the plans that God have for our life. And so we're gonna continue to keep hitting those brick walls until we stop trying to map our lives out
Yeah.
and live it, and it's not in God's will for us to live it that way and stuff. And so I had to, like, I was like, I just, I was doing good, like lost my weight,
Yeah,
finished
you
the
like, yeah,
school,
that's the problem with what it is. Yeah. Hey, you
thought I
guys,
had the best.
we're sitting here talking with Erin Washington. She is sharing her story. And Erin, I wrote today, the title of this was that, basically I wanted to make sure that everybody understood that you were walking through your process and telling people, and I said that it was the difference, the change of the difference in your life and everything. And so you became a part of your change. And so I
Mhm.
think it's very important that people really understand and see what a real life survivor and overcomer look like. And so that's why I really wanted to make sure that you were able to come on this show, share your story, because it's amazing how you went from a place of, and we can talk about it, a place of where people counted you out because of the neighborhood, because we come from the hood, and it's like no good was in our hood, and we were supposed to be just one particular thing, which you were a teen mom, and you service, your lifestyle of whatever it was at that moment. But then you decided to just get control, come out of it, and really seriously just say, I'm about to be, this is about to be who I am. But then God hit you with another whammy of saying, okay, here you go, here's breast cancer. Then you said fighting for your marriage. And how did all of that, let's bring all that to the relationship point. Let's bring all that to full circle, because there may be a woman right now that's sitting there saying, yeah, I hear Erin talk about her breast cancer. I'm cool with that. That ain't my issue. I hear her talking about, her past and what she was as a teen or whatever. That's cool. But now I'm focusing, I got a problem with my marriage. And I'm in between the cuffs of it and something happening right there. So let's talk about that as a relationship and everything. How did that come about, as far as, because one minute, again, social media, one minute you see people posting all these amazing pics of their boobs, and then the next minute is like, we don't see no more pics of boo. So how did that even come about, as far as you're now facing breast cancer, but your husband at the time makes a decision to say, or how it was that you guys decided that that relationship came to a close?
Well, I believe that, sometimes, people outgrow each other
Okay.
and stuff. And so, me and my ex-husband, we was like in a relationship overall, in a relationship for 18 years, married for 14 years. And basically, the love of my life, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna take that away from him, because I wouldn't have married him,
Yeah.
if it was anything different and stuff. And so, I think just like any other marriage, when you don't have like the communication, when you're not on one accord,
Yeah.
when you live in two separate lives and stuff, and one not having God in the center of your marriage, it's not gonna work out basically, For us, I think it was the communication and just, overall we had different views on
Hmm.
what we thought we were to be to each other
Okay.
and stuff. And so we have been having our little ups and downs and things of that nature, who don't have them and
So,
stuff. And
so
so
a few of the signs and things like that, little small foxes, as I say, small foxes was
yeah,
killing mine. Okay.
yeah, and stuff. And so not to dig too much deep into it, but it's just you just have to, sometimes you can love somebody and not be in love with that person and
Yeah.
stuff. And so, I've always wanted to, have a family and stuff, and I'm quite sure, he wanted the same thing in the beginning and stuff. But like as the years came across or whatever, life happened, things happen and
Mhm.
stuff. And so we just decided, hey, to just, go our separate ways and stuff. And so um it was, it took like 2 years or something like that before we proceeded with the divorce and stuff. And so
So he
it
was
was
still there to help you through the cancer, the
he
cancer and
he
everything.
was he was there, presently there and stuff. But, like I said, even through the transition and stuff like that, it was rocky and stuff. And so just being a woman, nobody wants to lose their family. Nobody, I don't care. If you're a woman, if you ever been through it, I'm talking about, then you can relate to me, and I'm not trying to take this from any other woman who haven't been through it, but I just identify with people who, if they've been through what I've been through, or if I've been through what they've been through
Mhm.
and stuff. And so, you know, not to, not to, I would never like degrade his character as a person, and stuff as far as like, but the thing about it is that sometimes you can be, how I want to put this, sometimes sometimes you can be either too much for a person or not enough for a person and stuff. And
So let me
so
ask you
as
this here, right, Aaron, right there. So at that point there, and that is a really good point, because sometimes truly we do get to that place to where the growth and what is needed for that person, it goes back to what I say about the gallon. You can be a gallon and that person can be a pint. And as much as you try to fill that pint, it's never going to be filled because it can't hold as much as that gallon, right? And so
correct.
let me ask you this here. Did you guys at some point have a really good sit down conversation of, listen, this is just what you said. This is a bit too much as far as we're not fulfilling, or I feel like I'm not fulfilling, or you fulfill. Was it some kind of communication that went forth with you two to say we need to service our ties out here?
Well, no. And to be
Okay.
honest, no, it just ended basically. Basically, we just decided, the thing about it and what I mean about communication is that you have to have communication because guess what? If you don't release what's going on within you, the frustration and, just everything, a build up. And I think that it was a build up on both of our ends or whatever
Okay.
and stuff. And so what they say, if you don't let the shit shit out, you're gonna be full of shit. And so when the shit come out, it's gonna be shit everywhere. And so basically that's basically what took place and stuff. And so I was going through a rough time in my life, going through the transition of breast cancer and
Right.
then to, other things, that I'm not gonna really touch on or
Right.
whatever. But I'm gonna just say this to say that to just women and men in general, like if you love somebody, no matter what you're going through, your love should outweigh the bad days. And, if you really love that person, you will make it work. You'll stop whatever it is that you're doing in order to make it work. You'll sit there and hear each other out. And I'm not perfect by no means, don't get me wrong and stuff. I had my own flaws as a wife, just like he had his own flaws as a husband and
Okay.
stuff, but, you know, at the end of the day, guys are going to be guys. But I'm going to just say this to say that, you know, if you got somebody that you really love or whatever the case may be, nothing should be that much of of importance to where you allow that to come in and threaten or break up your
Because I like
marriage
the
or
fact, right there, Erin, I like the fact that you said communication. And that is something that we really seriously, in most relationships, we find that to be an area where that is really one of those big hard bottom hits, and that is the communication.
yeah.
The fact that the conversations need to be had as simple as "Hey, good morning" or "Hey, good night." Something as small as leaving each other some type of note or text message or something that signifies a communication. And I hear
Mm-hmm.
that quite often, especially me being a divorcee, that was one of the major things. Communication. You got to be able to communicate about it. You need to be able to talk about it. And that's one of the things that the therapist said when we went through our counseling. Do you guys even talk to each other? Do you even know each other? And so those are really big points. And I like what you said as far as stopping what you're doing, focusing on your
Mm-hmm.
partner at that moment. And so, what have you really learned from this being a divorcee now? How have you transitioned from being this wife to a divorcee girl? How you doing it now? What's your dating life like? What you doing
I'm
now,
glad
girl?
you asked. Before I I'm getting ready. Actually, in a couple of more days, it'll be 3 years of me being divorced. Look at God,
Okay,
but no, not 3 days, 2 years.
okay.
October, yeah, it'll be 2 years.
And I
But
clap. I
I
have to
say
give it
this,
a clap every time because it's amazing how we go through our challenges of divorce and we go through that process. But then to be able to say it, and then like you're like, oh, I think it's 3 days. I think it's this day. Girl, see, you done
yeah,
forgot your years faster than me. Cause honey, I can tell you daytime verbatimly and everything. And it's like, yeah, but it's like the memory of it, right? It kind of settles
yeah,
itself through, so you can push forward
yeah,
and go to what it is. Yeah.
yeah, because we've been separated for like altogether, we've been separated for 4 years, but
Yeah.
officially divorced 2 years. But I say this to say I'm glad you asked because um when you're going through a divorce, it's to me, I think it's just a waste of time and money, and it's even more hurtful,
Yeah.
just going through the transition of of separating from somebody who you thought you'll be with forever. And
Yeah.
so before I decided, even though me and my ex-husband, we separated during the transition of me going through breast cancer, it was always that little wonder, hope that, we could reconcile and we can work it out, because that's what people do. We've been through at the time, far worse than that, so, but
Yeah.
that wasn't in God's design. The more I thought and wanted him to come back home, God put it out there like, no. He revealed everything. He revealed everything basically to to what they say, if you keep on, you keep going to the barber shop, you're gonna get a haircut, right?
You're gonna go and get
So
your
he just
yeah.
kept showing me, like, no, no, no. So,
And you know,
but
like
before I
Angela said, like night. I'm sorry. Oh my god. Okay, my phone went off. Sorry. Like my
but
Angela said, that if people show you who they are, believe them, which I believe is a true statement altogether. Even though we have that
yeah,
hope in our hearts and we're like, okay, come on, get it together. We're gonna pray and make sure, But at that point, if people show you who they are, believe them. You have to really believe them. So how
yeah.
did you
So
transition now? You
so
transition into that
so
place. What
so
you got
fast forward, before I decided to walk away from my marriage, I prayed and asked God to make sure that I wanted to make sure I did everything I needed to do as a wife, even in the midst of me and my ex-husband being separated. I said, God, before I walk away, because basically I was holding on. Like, who wants to
Okay.
lose their family? Who wants to separate? Who wants, I'm being introduced to a whole new world and stuff. And so basically I had to make peace with myself. And actually, I grieved him as if he was deceased and stuff like that, because that was like my partner, like my husband, my pretty much my everything, outside of God and stuff. And so I stayed in that house almost like 2 years, and I went through the motion. I went through the healing process and all of that kind of stuff. And so I ended up, praying and asking God, God, give me a sign. Let me know when it's time for me to walk away. And so when I got served with my divorce papers, you know, by that time 2 years had then went by, and so it's like God had gave me the peace that I needed. Sometimes they say it takes your heart to catch up with what your mind already know and stuff. And so that's the struggle that I was having with my reality of this is what it is, and so this is what you have to be in acceptance with. This is your life now and stuff. And so at the time I didn't really have time to process anything, because it's like I was hit with one traumatic event of being diagnosed with breast cancer. So I didn't even have really time to process that. It's
to
like,
deal with
be
that?
strong, be strong. We separated, and then now the divorce, it's like, be strong. And so I didn't have time to process. I didn't have time to process none of that. And so it's like along the journey, but I had all these other things, these distractions like school, because I ended up getting into grad school and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
what made me just really just let go, when the more I fought for that marriage, the more I fought for wanting to be with him, the more I fought for wanting my family to be together. It was like I was hurting myself in the midst of it. And so my
Okay.
reality didn't kick in until May the 1st of 2017, after I ended my first semester in grad school. I I I had registered for the summer class, and I saved this because I knew I was going to share this testimony. I registered for my first, the summer semester. I had just finished out my first semester, the spring semester of grad school. And so I registered, everything went through. And then I get a letter saying that you have been, that I was suspended from school, that that I was no longer able to go into school and whatever. So I followed with the counselor, like, what's wrong or whatever. So I ended up flunking out of grad school my first semester because I ended with I think a C minus or something like that. My GPA got below a 2.50.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what the hell is you doing, Erin? And so during my first semester, my mind wasn't where it was. It wasn't that I couldn't do it. It was just I was
Yeah.
focused on entertaining something that was not conducive to me. My focus was on,
Yeah.
I was bickering and going back and forth with, at the time, I was going through an ugly separation. And
Okay.
so I was like, I didn't know how to hurt him like he hurted me,
Right.
but I felt like my words would hurt him. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I spent my
Mm-hmm.
time. arguing back and forth with him. Well, I might not have did this like you did it to me, but let me put these words on you, because he would
Right.
always say my words hurt, but I didn't think my words would hurt him or whatever. But yeah,
Right.
so that first semester was not focused on what it needed to be. And so when I looked at my life about to spiral down as far as like my professional career and things that I worked hard for along my educational journey to get to this point of getting into grad school to become a social worker, I was like, what the hell wrong with you, Erin? Like,
Yeah.
you're
Because
doing
you
all
couldn't
this
lose
here.
it. Yeah.
I was like, no. And when I had to sit down and write to the school board of social workers as to why I feel as though they should give me another opportunity, I had to invite them to a seat at my table of life. I didn't like that. This is
Yeah.
why. And this is what happened. And so
But you know
eventually I
what?
got
You
back
know
to
what,
grad school.
Erin? You know what, Erin? Think about it. That was a beautiful, even though it was uncomfortable, but it was a beautiful opportunity because you're a social worker. So you experience working with people who invite you into their life all the time, right?
Correct.
So it really, I think, really, honestly, God was giving you a little extra empathy where you probably in the beginning had sympathy. And so he gave you
Yes.
that empathy of that woman that may come and say, well, Miss Washington, this is what I'm dealing with. And this is why I couldn't meet this requirement that you asked me to, that you asked me to meet. So it's like God gave you that empathy there where you probably that day probably was like, oh no, I'm gonna be tough right there because she's just lacking and slacking, right? But then
Mhm.
here it is, this person now have a social worker who really seriously can really feel her situation there and say, oh,
Mhm.
well, she's just not trying to not do what we're asking. She seriously has, these are her obstacles that's causing her
Mhm.
not to do that. So I think that's
Correct.
what God's lesson was for you, which I know
Yeah.
that's what God's lesson was.
Yes. And God had a person for every season of my life. And so
Yeah.
I had this, I'm not going to mention his name due to confidentiality reasons, but it was like I had this guy friend to come along. And so basically from a woman's standpoint, we women, so we gonna confide in our girlfriends and they gonna say shoot back, fire back, and what's up?
Yeah.
Let's go get them. So then
Yeah.
I had this guy, guy friend that I started, conversing with and stuff because I spent like 2 years um being celibate. I was 2 years celibate because I
Shout out
wanted to
to
make sure.
shout out to celibacy. Yes.
Yes, I,
Come
I
on,
needed
we
that
can do
time
it.
to
We're
myself
doing it. Yeah.
because I didn't want to carry these emotions into
Yeah.
the next phase of my life. So I needed that time to heal. And when I tell you, ladies and guys, it's a
Yeah.
beautiful thing when you heal. Like when you get all of that stuff up out of you, because what you don't realize is that just because they some I hear some people say, well, in order to get over the next person is to slide up under somebody else. But no, that's not the way you do it, because at the end of the day, you're messing with somebody who could be genuinely ready and good for you, and basically you still full of shit. You still
That's
got
it.
baggage that you are carrying from a previous relationship or previous multiple
Relate.
relationships, and you're bringing
Mhm.
it to that person
Soul ties.
who
Having
have
those
so
soul
much good intentions for you and stuff, and you just not right and stuff. And that's why I tell anybody, it's okay to be alone. And just because you're alone doesn't mean that nobody don't want you or you can't have
say
nobody.
that again,
No,
Erin.
you're taking
Aaron.
time out for you to get this together.
Aaron,
You're
go
not,
back, go back, go back, go back. No, ma'am, you're not gonna run
just
past that.
because you are
Yeah, say that again.
single with a
Woo!
capital S, single. Yes. Doesn't mean that you can't have anybody. It doesn't mean that don't nobody want you. It means that you are taking care of you. Because before you can move forward, before you can say, even attempt to even, I'm going to say, like
Yeah,
somebody else or be with somebody else, you got to make sure you're together. You got to make sure that you're healed and make sure that you're ready and stuff. And so, A lot of times people want to jump into these relationships just to fill a void or just to say they got somebody. And baby, I'm gonna just be honest with you. The way I see these relationships being posted on Facebook, and I'm afraid because baby, as soon as they post a man or they woman, baby, these people get to cutting up and stuff. Then the relationship is over with weeks later. So what I've learned, these relationships be like over with. They be so, and I ain't gonna even lie. I'm not gonna even lie. In the beginning, when I was separated, I was like, "Ooh, I get to get me a new boo," and I want everybody to know my new boo. But now I was like, "Nah, I think now everything
Mm-mm.
that I love that's close to my heart,
It's gonna be
I
a
want to
blank
keep
screen.
private. I want to
It's
keep
gonna
that private because at the end of the day, like what I've learned is that everybody don't get to have a seat at my
be,
table of life.
that's it.
And and they should
Girl,
only know what they would only know what basically what they see or
that's
what
what
I've
I tell
always
you.
been
You
to
wanna know
tell
what
them
I tell you.
and stuff. Yeah,
And
but just
that's the thing. That's the thing
just
right there, Erin. That's the thing. See, you said something right there, girl. See, y'all, Erin is spitting these good nuggets. She always has. But y'all got to really
no, because people
understand.
be getting it twisted. People get it twisted. And one thing I did learn along the way as
Okay.
being a single woman, and I'm gonna just say this here, ladies, like at the end of the day, like I'm telling you, I'm sharing with you all my story and guys because I went through this. But at the end of the day, like nobody is responsible for your happiness. Like I'm gonna say this here.
You said that.
Men,
That's a
men,
powerful
men,
statement.
I'm gonna say this here. And some guys probably think I'm a feminist and probably think when I'm talking about guys, y'all just see my personality on Facebook. To know me is to love me.
Yes.
And you have to really know me personally to know any of that about me. What you see on Facebook is my personality. And 9 times out of 10, if I post something, it doesn't mean that I'm going through it. It may have been something that I experienced, but not yet going through it. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, nobody owes you no loyalty other than your spouse and
Yeah.
stuff. And I say this to mainly women because at the end of the day, like we're all human, and our guys, they're human as well. And so sometimes what I learned, just going through my past experience and stuff is that sometimes, my ex-husband, I'm not taking nothing away from him. He was a good provider.
Yes.
He was a good provider. He was a good husband. But like I say, sometimes people grow apart. And
Yes.
so, just like we look at our friends and everybody else as a season in our life, well, sometimes our spouse is a season in our life.
Yeah.
And sometimes that chapter just have to be closed. And
Yeah.
sometimes, it's gonna be painful because guess what? Somebody's not gonna want to let it go
That's it.
and stuff. And so I'm gonna just say this: like, you don't have to put up with nothing that
Mm.
they wouldn't put up with.
That's
Because if you're not cheating on your man, why should you allow
yeah.
him to cheat? And if he's
Yeah.
not cheating on you, why should he allow you to cheat? And when you married, marriage is something serious. And marriage is something that I take serious and stuff.
Yes.
And so
And I
you
like
can't go
Aaron what
out.
you said. Aaron, I like when you said earlier about when you stated about we didn't have God in the middle of it. I
We
love that.
didn't. We
And I
didn't.
love
We
that
didn't.
honesty there because that is so important that so many people need to understand. If you don't invite God in, how can you expect him to come and get you out of the trouble when you never even invited him to even come and sit at the table, like you said?
Correct. Correct. We got
Yeah,
up and went to church every Sunday as a family. We was in the church. But
yeah.
when we was at home, it was just something different and stuff.
Wow.
But I'ma just say this here, like I'ma say this here. If you married, take your marriage serious. If it's something that can be worked out, make it work. But I'm gonna say this here. God gave us common sense and he gave us food sense. And don't if it's anything that's costing you your peace, your happiness, and stuff, sometimes it's gonna hurt either way it go. It's gonna hurt if you let it go. It's gonna hurt if you stay. You gotta pick your hurt. You gotta pick your hurt, because at the end of the day, like, people are gonna do what they want to do. You can't make them love you. You can't make them be who they are or who you want them to be to you. You just have to accept what it is and decide, hey, if that's what you want and stuff. And so I'm just gonna revert back to what I was about to say, is that women, because I see so much of this here on social media, and it's like we don't have those old grandmothers, the old school grandmothers, to teach us, okay, if nothing else, have some self-respect, walk away. Like, you can't be out here jacking these women up behind these men. Yeah, that's your husband, but at the end of the day, it takes two to play.
That's it.
When you exchange a number,
Yeah.
when you sneak texting somebody, that's cheating. I don't care how you put it. But at the
There
end of the
you
day,
go.
it's not your place to go and confront that next woman, because she don't owe you no loyalty. That
Nope.
man don't owe you no loyalty. Your
Oh, good.
spouse
That's
do.
right there, Aaron. That's good right there.
Your spouse do. And so, how I was able to walk away, I walked away in peace. In the beginning, the part of letting go, it was hard. But when God gave me that peace that I needed, I walked away. And when I walked away, I didn't care to look up who that person was. I didn't care to look up what they looked like and how they was, none of that, because I felt like this here at the end of the day, God brought everything to me that
Yeah.
didn't make sense years previous in my marriage. Everything that didn't make sense to me in my marriage,
It's
God
not.
started bringing it to the
Yeah.
forefront. And I was like, he was taking me back. Well, you remember when you was thinking this and you felt this, and this is why. I didn't have to look for it. Because guess what? What goes in the wash will come out in the
You're
rinse.
gonna come out in
You
the
don't have
red.
to look for it, because when you marry somebody, that's not a part of being married.
Yeah.
Looking and worried about who doing what and who ain't
Yeah.
doing what. Because you made a vow before God. And guess what? If you ain't ready to marry, I don't care if you got 50 kids together. I don't
And
care
you
if you
know what,
high
Aaron?
school
I'm glad
sweethearts.
you said that. I'm glad you said that about kids. So how
Baby,
did that how did you feel in that point? Did you at any point say I wanted to work for our children? How did that
what
you know?
I did. What I want, let me tell you something. And this is me being honest.
Yeah.
People can try to make something, going through their divorce, make it look like what it ain't.
Like it was
Cause
cake.
I know what it
Like it was
is.
a
They
little
they want
cakewalk.
to be all tough and cocky and F him and F her,
Yeah.
and I ain't, let me tell you something. Who don't want their family? And I believe that I'm not gonna say my ex-husband didn't want his family. But at the end of the day, our marriage, and I can talk about this, respectfully, because when you're going through a divorce or when you're going through
And you
anything
really
in your
and I must say that shout out to you because you have been very respectful and I like the fact that you're using the integrity to say it wasn't just a one-sided situation. It was everybody had something to do with it. We
correct,
both
correct,
had
correct,
we both had a seat at the table of it not,
correct,
being where it should be. So that's a big move and a maturity in itself.
correct, correct. So when you're going through anything in life, in your marriage or relationships, the
Yeah.
best person for you to talk to is God. Because where he and I went wrong, I don't talk to many people. I don't really even have friends. But if I tell somebody something and if it get out, I can always go back to where it came from. And so I think the biggest turmoil through us going through our divorce, the part what made it ugly was outsiders of, well, he would always come back and tell me something what somebody said that I said, and somebody would always come back and tell me what they said, what he said and stuff. And so he was very emotional, and like my ex-husband, he has pride. Like he's a very prideful guy. And so he would never let you see him sweat, or if he feeling a certain type of way, you'll never know it and stuff because he's very prideful. And I can say that about him because I know him personally. I know him better than anybody and stuff. And so I can say that about him. He's very prideful. And so I know me, I was the emotional person in the marriage and stuff. And so at the end of the day, um I wish if I could take anything back, I wish we could have went through it more privately. And basically, I wish if I could take anything back, I wish that my kids wouldn't have been exposed to so much because they felt everything that I went through and stuff. And so sometimes, we can be so caught up in what we're going through to where, you got those kids, you got those one kid you got that's strong, and it don't affect them one way or another, but deep down inside, them be the ones that it be affecting
Yeah.
and stuff. And so if I could change anything about going through my transition divorce, it would be that, just to, things don't always have to end in confusion and stuff,
Yeah.
it don't always have to be, because even to this day, like, I wish, and even though I wanted that apology 3 years ago, I can honestly say, it took him 3 years to put his pride to the side, but
Yeah.
eventually he came around last year, and back in
And it
November,
does. It does take a minute,
it
and that's
does, it
okay.
does.
But just as you said, hey, at least he caught up to it and got it. I mean, I've been divorced now for 18 years. My son was 1 when me and my ex husband got a divorce, and guess what? It took us all the way up until last year to have a conversation, a really, really clear out
Hmm.
conversation, and that is both of us saying what our wrongs were. And
Yeah,
so I thank God for it, because even though we may not be chummy buddy, but we have an understanding of where
yeah.
everybody failed at in the midst of it, which is good that
Hmm.
you and your ex-husband in the beginning stages, and this is what I call beginning stages of the divorce, 3 years that you guys have been able to say, okay, this is what it is. Because again, like you
Hmm.
stated, it was his pride. It was hard for him to say, hey,
Yeah.
Erin, this is what it is for me. And you're able to, then say, hey, this is what it was for me. So I think that is really good. That is an amazing way to really show the maturity, because we got to
Yeah.
really honestly think about how mature we're going to be in any situation, even though we may have, at some point in your life, you got out of hand, some words were said, we all had a word, but the maturity of keeping in mind, and minus the children, but me and you as the individuals who were there, who did make the vows to say, we're going
Hmm.
to be in this thing to death do us part. But
Hmm.
now, here's
It
our
j- it
block.
it just doesn't. It's tearing each other down and pointing the finger. Even though sometimes you just have to take the high road, be it if you right or if you wrong and
Yeah.
stuff. Tearing each other down only make it worse than what it is and stuff. And a lot of times, I find that, it was a lot of hurt. Like, my divorce was very painful and it was hurtful. And just to know that, you know, to see who, when you're going through a divorce, I always keep in mind that his family is his family, my family is my family.
Yeah.
And so
That's
we
good.
may have people on opposite sides of the family who we may trust and confide in and stuff, but if nothing else, like, be neutral. Like, if you feel like you have to confide in somebody, or somebody confiding in you, keep it neutral, because at the end of the day, it's a family that's being torn apart. It's a family that's breaking up. It's a family
Yeah.
that's basically, transitioning into a whole nother life that
Good.
they don't even know what it's gonna look like or be like at the time. So it's
Mhm.
hurtful and stuff. When you see family, and I witnessed it. I keep my silence and stuff, and at the end of the day, I expect people to be who they are, be it if they bullshit people, be it if they genuine and true people and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes they say you got to leave people better than you met them. I done seen the tables turn, you know what I'm saying? People I used to sit at the table with and eat with and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like just treating me like I wasn't nobody. I done seen friends
Right.
that I used to hang out with, not because I'm not the married friend no more.
Yeah.
Hey, I
Yep.
don't fit in no more. So I done seen all of that. And so sometimes those turn backs are a blessing
Yep.
because now Erin know how to stand on her own 2 feet.
Yes.
Now Erin know that she can make it with
Yes.
a man or without a man.
Yeah. And
Because
that's
in
what I
the
was getting ready to
beginning,
say right there, Aaron. Because right there, when you said those connections of those friends, because we're friends because we're married, and right there, no, I'm no longer married now. So it's safe to say it's like felt like okay. At one point, you probably felt like, oh my God, I'm no longer a part of the club. I can't relate to the what they're doing because they're doing things couples do, right? But
correct.
it was a blessing for you because it's like, why would I even want to keep dragging my emotions on to that point when you may be talking to, Susie May and she said, hey girl, I gotta go. I gotta go. Me and my husband finna do this. Me and my husband finna do that. And not trying to be mean, but it's like the association of what your connection was with Susie May no longer there, right?
Yeah, but my thing as a woman, I have lots of married friends, and
Okay.
I love them. Like my friends that's still married, that's still in my life. Like everybody go through life and stuff, and that's just like me. If I was married, I had friends that wasn't even married and stuff. And so my thing is this here: whether I'm married or not, you were my friend, and
Okay.
so I expected to be treated as such, the relationship and all of that and stuff. But at the end of the day, like that comes, change comes with that change came apart with that transition and stuff. And so, just living a single life, a lot of times us, single women are, sometimes frowned upon and stuff like that. I was once that married woman, and I used to view single women in the same eyeball that I'm being viewed as and stuff. And so I'm gonna just say this
Really?
here
Yeah.
respectfully, like
Yeah.
all single women are not out to mess with married men, or
Yeah.
you have some. I'm still turning niggas down as if I'm in a relationship. First of all, let's get that straight. Two, to all you married women out there, I'm gonna need y'all to thank me because I'm the single woman that's turning down y'all married husbands.
That's it.
Secondly,
Amen.
respectfully, because
Yeah.
I know what it's like to be a married woman, and I know what it's like to be in those shoes and to walk that path.
Yeah.
And so I know what that pain look like, and I know what it feel like. So thank
I
me in
love it,
advance.
Aaron. I love
And
it. Man,
so
I
and
love it, girl.
so
Oh, I love
we
that.
have we
Yes.
single women, we have some integrity and respect about ourselves. And I'm not gonna say all, because we got these women out here that make us look bad because they don't care. They just looking for what they can get. They don't care if they mess with a married man. They don't care if they mess with two dogs with two dinglings at the same time. I'm just saying, you got women out there like that. It's not just the guys, it's these women
Baby.
too. I can't
Mm-hmm.
I can't put these on the guys, but
Yeah.
I hold guys, married men especially, because if you
Yes.
go so far to get somebody your number, then you opening up that door.
That's it.
You
Mm-hmm.
opening up that door. If you allow this woman to make her way in your life and you're entertaining it, and I get it, men are human and stuff.
Yeah.
They say you can view the menu as long as you don't place the order, but a
There
lot
you
of y'all
go.
don't even know how to view the menu without placing the order. You
There
want to
you
play.
go.
What
Mm-hmm.
you think a phone call gonna lead to? What you
There
think?
you
You know what I'm saying? Pillow talking about your woman or what she don't do gonna lead to.
Yeah.
That chick gonna try to do
Delilah.
everything that you.
Delilah. Samson and Delilah is real all day.
She gonna do everything that you're saying that your woman is not doing.
Yeah.
So take notes, men, or what guys or whatever. But at the end of the day, Ladies, you will never build a foundation of happiness off another woman's hurt and pain. To even put yourself in a position to think that you won the next woman's husband, or won the next woman's whatever,
Yeah.
you will never, and I repeat this, and I can honestly say, you will never be able to build a foundation of happiness off another woman's hurt and pain. And
Yeah.
guys, it goes for you too and
Yeah.
stuff. But at the end of the day, to each his own. Like, it's time for people to just start growing up. Like, as far as like their intent in a marriage. If marriage is not something that you want, don't get into it. If the marriage was good in the beginning and the thrill is gone, then it's time to have a talk. What are our intentions? And
Yeah.
sometimes, you know, people want to hold on because they say it's cheaper to keep her, or hold
Mhm.
on, women's afraid to walk away. Because I was that woman that was afraid to walk away because I didn't know what my next day or my next
Yeah.
years to come was going to look like without my
Mhm.
ex-husband. I didn't know if I was going to be able to make it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to even lie, because at the end of the day, like I say, he was a good provider.
Yeah.
He came home, he wrote out them bills, he paid them bills and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I just started when I got on my own 4 years ago, learning how to pay my own bills, learning how to budget and all that kind of stuff. I would never take that away from him. He was a good provider and
Yeah.
stuff, and he was a good husband at some point. But at the end of the day, that's not the journey that God wanted me to continue on and stuff. And so today I am at peace, thanks to my friend. I'm not gonna say his name, but he, from a male perspective, he came along in my journey when I was going through that transition in 2017. And he told me, he was like, what you doing? Quit entertaining. What you arguing for? You can't change nobody. You can't, And he taught me that silence is golden.
There
And
you
so I
go.
learned to shut up. I learned to hush instead of just going back and forth,
Yeah.
because I felt like that was the only way I could hurt him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't
Mhm.
want to go slide up under the next man to try to
Yeah.
fill that void, to hurt him. I didn't want to
Yeah.
do none of that. You know what I'm saying? But I felt like, let me spit some fire at him real quick. Let me shame him real quick.
Word.
But that still didn't help. That didn't help. And I tell y'all, I say this to say, walk away with your self respect. If I can go back and change anything, that would be that. To just not even argue, like, but that past, my past and that experience is what got me where I'm at today. Now that I
Yeah.
know better, I can
You're
do better.
doing better.
I'm doing better and
Yes.
stuff, and here I am,
So big
for,
shouts out,
for
big shouts
4 years
out to
ago,
the man. Big
four
shouts
years
out to the
ago,
man who
huh?
taught you that golden. I said big shouts out to the guy who taught you about the silence is golden.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
even
something that's
now,
real talk. That's real
yeah,
talk
even
from a man, girl.
it
That's real
is,
talk
it
from
is,
a man.
because you can find some guys but just want to try to, use your vulnerability to try to,
Yeah,
act like they mean well for you, but they really don't. And that's why I was like, I was upset. I ain't gonna lie, I was angry at my ex-husband in the beginning because he threw me out here to these fucking wolves. This
yeah,
world is full of wolves, baby. When
yeah.
I tell you I wasn't ready for this, I was ready. And I'm still kind of not ready, but I didn't kind of got
Mhm.
exposed to it. So now I can try to kind of
Trust me.
matriculate my way
Trust
around,
me.
spot the bullshitters.
I've been out on my single journey, and trust me, baby, I chills back
But
and let
I'm
it
loving
be.
it though.
But mother,
Like
mother,
which
mother keeps
commercial was
no way,
that?
baby. Mother keeps it, huh?
Which commercial was that? Was it the McDonald's? The ba da ba ba ba. I'm
I
loving it,
loving it.
and I'm loving it. You know what I'm saying? But yeah,
Listen,
it's a
Erin, Erin, tell people.
it's a
Listen, you guys, we talking to Erin Washington. Erin, girl, look, we had an amazing show. I'm super excited. Now, do me a favor. Tell the people where they can find you at. your IG, your Facebook, or whatever handles, because we need to be able to get to that business. For the Juice Me Please, we need to be able to get to the clothing line. We need to be able to get to the everything, and then where we gonna get this future book from, and all these great things. So tell the people where they can find your information, and also give a really nice, great closing word for the people so that they can be able to really feel inspired at the end.
Okay. So you can, if I'm not sure if everybody have Instagram, but you can follow us on Instagram at the underscore juice me please 2019. And then you can follow us on Facebook for Juice Me Please on the Erin Tamil. And also for Beyond Beauty, you can follow us on Facebook at Tamil Erin. And actually you can follow us on Instagram underscore beauty, I mean beyond underscore beauty underscore apparel, Beyond Beauty Apparel, fitness apparel. So underscores in between and stuff. And so, yeah, you can find us on either one. If not, inbox me and I respond, 24 hours later. And if you want to inquire about juice orders or anything like that, if you're not on social media or don't have Instagram, one or the other, you can, just reach out to me via um via messenger and stuff. But as far as like the closing remarks, if nothing else, I think the realest thing you can do is just be yourself, be who you are, and don't let people change who you are. Don't let your situation or your circumstances determine, your future or your outcomes. And, sometimes, you know, everything doesn't always turn out how it looked like, just if nothing else, be good to yourself. You have to love yourself and be good to yourself before you can begin to love anybody else or be of anything to anybody, because you can't pour from an empty cup and stuff. And if nothing else, just live your life and be happy. Be grateful for the people who are in your life, and just, try to live a peaceful life and a positive life, and you'll be okay and stuff. Just be you, if nothing else and stuff. Just be you.
Thank you, Erin. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you,
Mm.
girl. Thank you, girl. And again, you guys,
Thank you for having me.
yes, ma'am. Thank you, Erin. You guys, y'all definitely make sure that you connect in with Erin, and make sure that you guys stay connected with the Simply Her Empowerment Connection Show. I'm super excited about everything that Erin Washington had to give us and pour into us. Y'all just don't understand how amazing that story is. And I'm gonna put it in the book. I'm gonna keep pushing this book and letting her know. And she's continuing to write the pages of her own narrative of her book and really pulling out what is needed and necessary. You too, as a woman, as a man, and one man kind of life, you have a right to be able to write the changes and be the difference of the change that needs to happen into your life. Look, you guys, I have had an amazing time with you. I enjoy having you each and every Sunday. Don't forget to come back next Sunday, because I'm going to have Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. himself, the writer, the author, the CEO, the $1 million dude himself is going to be here. And he's going to talk about this book and some more fun things. And guess what? Tell a friend. If you didn't have an opportunity to like, tag, and share this video, like, tag, and share this video to all the reach channel, subscribe, please. Subscribe and hit the bell so that you can get the notifications when we come on. Listen to you guys. I have had an amazing time with you. I enjoy having you each and every Sunday. Don't forget to come back next Sunday, because I'm going to have Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. himself. Listen, you guys, it's not about what I say, it's about how I make you feel. And man, I hope I made you feel good.